And so this trip was called The Wilderness Beyond, and I'm going to talk real quick because I want to get to the end of this. So a bunch of videos and a bunch of pictures and some fun facts that I'll put in here. Wilderness Beyond, Patagonia, Tierra del Fuego, and Chilean fjords. See if this is, okay. Do I need to be close? Okay, let's go back. That's what she looks like, okay? That's my partner in crime. We travel together. I'm the instigator. She goes along with it. So she'll come walking in here. Okay, so here's the world. And by the way, this is my travel map in my living room. And these little dots are where I've been, where we've been. And I want to fill this whole thing up. And another prop. Okay, so we went to South America. I'm a really high-tech guy. So look, I brought like this high-tech visual, and here we are, South America, and here we have Buenos Aires, which is where we landed, and then down here is the bottom of Patagonia, but Patagonia actually starts from here down. So it's huge. It's about half of Chile and half of Argentina, okay? So at the bottom is the Straits of Magellan, and we flew down, and as you'll see, we went to Ushuaia, which is the southernmost city in the world, and they call themselves the end of the world. And from there, we took a cruise, and you'll see that too. Okay, so in Buenos Aires, just to go through it, anybody been to Buenos Aires? Beautiful city, right? Just great. Very international, people from all over. Here she comes. Oh, it's you. Thanks, fellas. Okay. So just to go through these, this says 25 Mayo 1810. That's like their 4th of July. That was the start of their revolution. That's what this monument is here. This is their famous General de Martin. He liberated Argentina, Chile, and Peru from Spain, so they like him a lot. They have the Recoleta Cemetery. Unbelievable. I just have this one because I love dogs. Look at that doggy. And a very, okay. Who's that? Yeah, we know that. Okay. And, oh, gonna go back. I'm gonna go back because I want you to see. This is a bookstore called the Ateneo Grande Splendid. It was a beautiful, beautiful theater, and is now a bookstore. National Geographic called it the most beautiful bookstore in the world. And it is. There's their presidential palace. Up here is where, who gave a big speech? Evita. And where did Evita end up? Right there in the cemetery. There's her grave. Okay. This is a great neighborhood, La Boca. Look at the colors. It's restaurants and clubs. It's fantastic. Not at night, though. This here is called Floralis Generic. It opens and closes, and it only weighs 18 tons. Now, you'll notice that there's not just two of us there, but there's a little third person that traveled with us. Anybody know what that name is? That's Patty is the first name. Anybody last name? Gonia. Okay, Patty Gonia. And we brought Patty along, and you'll see in a video later, because as we sent pictures back to our grandchildren, who at the time were 1 and 3 and 5, and they pay a little more attention to it because they see Patty sitting here, Patty up in the box. So anyway, that's what that is. Okay. Oh, by the way, Patty identifies as he, she, it and bunny. Anybody know why it's both he and she? No genitals. Okay. All right, here we are in Ushuaia, Fin del Mundo, end of the world. And here we go. Some of these are videos, Ushuaia again. The Falkland Island War, if you guys remember that. There it's known as the Malvinas. And it's a huge thing. We had a speech by a veteran. That was a terrible, terrible war for them. And I'm going to move on. Look at those king crabs. Unbelievable. They got a lot of king crab there. Then, anybody speak Spanish? Me quedo para seguir haciendo historia means? I stay here to keep making history. This guy would not move, and they wanted to build this building. So look at it. They built it all right around this guy. Just great stuff. Okay, here we go.
Okay, here we are. I'm at the top of the boat.
Oh, is there any?
Notice no one else is here. We just got on.
I'm blabbing along, just kind of like I'm blabbing now.
Check into the room.
As we're on our boat now for our 6-day cruise, and giving you a look at
Ushuaia.
This beautiful town.
We are
these mountains.
We're going to be leaving here to go see the glaciers, etc.
And I'm sure I'm saying interesting stuff here as we're looking at. But check that out. That's in Ushuaia, which is also the port for anyone going down to Antarctica, which we will one day. Don't tell Joanne, but we will be doing that. Now, here's the same thing at night, which is when we took off, but it's that moon. Yeah. And it's a great little town, but it gets cold and it shuts down. By the way, when you go to Patagonia, they say, be ready for all 4 seasons of weather in one day. And that means we got all kinds of thermals and clothes and windbreakers and all that. We had beautiful weather. It was just great when we were there. All right, just going to go through some pictures now. Now, our first stop, and this is at sunrise. There's our zodiacs. The boat doesn't have any place to pull in. We were all on zodiacs. And what is that? Cape Horn. Yeah. Here's what it's like on the Zodiac, and there you get a little bit better look at the boat. Venus, Australis, look at that, the sun's just rising.
Going this way.
Joanne, that was one of your favorites. And they get moving on these Zodiacs, right? Hold on to that rope. It's amazing. That's what it looks like at a distance. That's a monument. That's another monument. Again, Cap Horn, November, that was 1989. And there we are at it. And we're back on the boat. Look what Patty's been doing while we were doing that. So it's amazing when you go there. Which explorer went there? Anybody? Ferdinand Magellan. Unbelievable. You go there, the water's like this even on a calm day. It is rough. And to think that in what year? Anybody? What year do you think? Throw out a number. 1600. Anybody else? 1520. And he went right through here, and he unbelievable. When you're there, you can't even believe it. By the way, fun fact, what year did he die? 1521. How did he die? Anybody? Poison tip on an arrow in the Philippines. Okay, I don't know why that's amazing to me. Okay, next morning, I'm the only one out on the top there. how not to take pictures of that. All right, now we're hitting all the glaciers. There's a beautiful glacier. There's big glaciers. There's little glaciers. There's our boat right there. And we're elevated above looking down at a glacier there. How did that get in? That's in the wrong place. Okay, continuing. We're now in another place. And I'm going to, yeah, okay, this is out of order. So this is a hike. And I mean, the winds were blowing, but look at that color blue. Remember that color blue? That's not a blue you usually see. That's glacial blue. There's our ship again, so you can see we're up pretty high. Now, this is number 2 on the top 3 list. Now, what are we looking at here? Something you rarely see. But she's not alone. She's not alone. Someone's looking at her. She is eating dinner. And guess what? You know who those are? Kids. And they're hungry too, so no way. Did you see that little stink eye that she gave the one? You wait your turn. And of course, we're not very far away, so, you know, we're a little like, very rare pumas. Very rare to see them. But that is one reason Patagonia is so great, is the animals, and I think this is the most spectacular because our tour guide, who does this multiple times every year, hadn't seen pumas for 5 years. This is the first time. So anyway, that's number 2 on the top 3 list. Just more pictures. Again, glaciers, beautiful flora as well as fauna. I only took one picture, but I mean, it's gorgeous. Now, these are called guanakas, and they're all over the place and very beautiful.
They can rejuvenate their food over and over again and rejuvenate again.
And we're right there as we're taking these trips through the steps. So they take time back to get rid of those fleas. At this point, obviously. And now we're back. Look at the color blue. Look at that. Okay, that's a video. Pull back. Oh, you're not going to hear. Okay. Here we are talking to our grandkids, saying Patty's here, and then I make a big joke. Patty's getting cold. Patty's getting cold. Oh yeah, she's getting cold. Okay. So hopefully the kids paid a little more attention because Patty was with us. Okay. Now I crossed the Magellan Strait. We are in another town, and there is Magellan. By the way, anybody know what the word Patagonia means or how it got that word? Well, there's many different stories, but the native peoples that live there, they say, called it the country of the hills. But when Magellan got there, the indigenous people were way bigger than these Europeans on the boats. They called them giants. And so it's also the land of big feet. And it's supposed to be good luck to kiss the toes, right, honey? Yeah. Which I didn't do, you know. I didn't need that much good luck. This is an extremely windy area, and they have this beautiful, I wish they could come in, you have a couple views. They have like a sculpture area, and that, I just thought that was so great. It's like an ode to the wind. Okay. Now, while we were there, we did horseback riding, and it was just great. See Patty with Joanne. And just to give you an idea what it looks like, there's the beach, and there are more glaciers. Okay. This was the windiest place, a high trek. It was, I'm literally standing like this because the wind is so strong. And actually a lady from another tour got blown over. And I think she broke her leg. different tour. I don't know how they got her back because this was a couple miles up. So, but this is me with our people in our group. And this here is what it looks like behind us on a clear day. But it wasn't clear, so we thought we'd take a picture like that. Now, this is number 3 of the top 3. Oh, this should be clear. There's no way to do the sound. The sound is unbelievable. We were too late to see the famous penguins. And it was like, bummer, but they said, no, but then we're going to go to this other island that has sea lion colonies. And I was like, man, we'll go to a place near Monterey Bay, we're out there, you see sea lion. There's hundreds and hundreds. And then watch these guys around our boat. Here comes a flock of birds. We saw condors, eagles. Look at these guys, like, what are you doing? They're like right up to us going, what the heck are you guys? You don't look like lions. But the sound of they're all growling and making snorting and making all kinds of sounds. I won't try to imitate them. It's unbelievable. I love animals, and so this is really good for me. Look at them staring at us. Okay. All right, more pictures. Now, this is the Torres del Paine National Park. Is there any way to move it slightly over so it's not cut off? I don't know if it works that way. But that's what that is. Sunrise again. Now we've got the real peaks of the Andes. I mean, I don't know how many people getting married right in the park there, right at the base of these mountains. Again, beautiful clouds. There you go. Now, while we were there, we went to a sheep farm. The tour company that we used was called Overseas Adventure Tours. I'm not shilling for them, but we think they're really good. And we always have meals, a couple meals in either people's homes, or this is a sheep farm. You see 5 or 6 sheep here. They have 3,000. And they use the dog is shepherding them. But we were there for lunch. We didn't tell them that. And I'm sure we didn't use one of them. But we had one of their cousins, I'm sure. And I will show you, that's me making friends with a sheep. Okay, that's how they cook it. And that's what it looks like on your plate. Unlimited, all you could eat. And it was the best lamb I've ever had. Man, yeah. All right, we're actually coming up kind of towards the end here. El Calafate is the last big place we went to before we went back to Buenos Aires. And this is just a gorgeous area. And in this area is that guy. Oh, we're not going to hear me like going insane. But this is Perdio Moreno. Yeah. Perito Moreno Glacier. This is a huge glacier. It is the size of Buenos Aires. Yeah. And we went there. So you saw those other little guys kind of hanging between each mountain peak. Look at that thing. And, oh, get your, all right. Here we go. You can only imagine the sound that this is going to make. We got here 5 minutes and this happened.
Yeah!
Yeah, what?
Oh, come on!
And then finally,
oh
my God. Whoa. Whoa. Anybody want to guess how tall that is right there? How many stories? Look at that water. 26. You're still pretty high. Look at the water coming down here. It looks like nothing from up here, but those are like tidal waves, right? That's the number one, I think, video, the number one thing that happened. Just look at that. Now, another interesting fact about this glacier, we all know that glaciers are receding, almost all of them. This one is not. This one grows right now, even with global warming. And it's because there's so much precipitation on the back end of this. And it pushes out. So what's melting here and going this way is not more than what's being added in the back. That's very unusual. And I'm a kind of a glacier guy because I want to see them before they go away. And so this is unusual because most of them are going away. But this is just beautiful. And there's Patty looking out, Patty having a coffee with Joanne. And that's about it. That's sunset in El Calafate. After that, we went back to Buenos Aires. And what a great trip it was. And I noticed I put, there's one more, I'm not sure how that got in there. That is not Patagonia, but that is Charles, by the way, who we trekked with in Rwanda. I just thought I'd throw that in there. And that's that. Yes.
How long was it dated? How many hours was it?
How do you remember? Kind of, we were there in March and April, so I think not super long or short. It was sort of that it was the beginning of their fall. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Why is that section called Patagonia?
It's well, like I said, it was Magellan when he came. It was he named it. Now what?
Like the border
That's I don't know. I don't know why it's just to that point. Good question, and I could Google it while we're doing the next thing. But the very bottom of it is Tierra del Fuego, which is land of fire, and it's an archipelago. So where we were going through in the boats, there's the Beagle Channel, there's the Straits of Magellan, and all of these islands. And so it's called fire because when Magellan first came, there were all kinds of fires along the shoreline that the indigenous people had lit. So, land of fire. Yes? There's trees. I got fixated probably on all the other stuff, and I did show the one tree. We took a few hikes where it was very beautiful, and there is flora, yeah. But then there are other areas where it's the steppes, which is just the grassy area. So there you don't see the trees. Yeah.
Can you see where the Atlantic and Pacific meet?
I don't think you could tell. And it might have been, they were doing a lot of going when we were sleeping too. So, I mean, we did go to that part where it goes from one to the other, but I don't remember anyone making a big hoopla about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like crossing the equator or something. Good.
Oh, we crossed the equator and there was a line.
Yes.
Not here. But we tested it because there was a man there with a bucket and a straw, and he would put the water down, and the straw would go this way here, and then we walked over here, and it went this way.
That way there.
And then right here it went.
That was the waves.
Yeah. That was not in Patagonia. That was where Charles is.
Good.
One whale, and I didn't see it, but one of our tour mates did. Yeah. Well, and I was looking. Yep.
Do some of the indigenous people still live
I think very few, and it's very actually sad, and I read this morning, is, not everybody loves Magellan. And the fact of the matter is that was a big genocide. And so most of them got just wiped out. But there was one group that I just learned about this morning called the Patagonia Welsh. There was one little group of Welsh, we think of Italy and Spain and Portugal, of Welsh, and that was like 126 people, and that's up to 5,000 people. Who knew? We didn't see them. But yeah, no, that's a bad story. It's a sad story of what happened there. Yeah.
Were you impressed with, it looks like a dark sky area.
Like a what?
Impressed with all the star things in these?
It seems like there was a lot of cloud cover. So I think at times, but it wasn't like, oh, we're out in the water and we look up and it's like, being up in Montana or anything like that. But I think that was maybe because of more clouds and fog a little bit. Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing a huge amount of that. El Caliphate, by the way, was 2,500 people. Now it's 3,000, but 30,000. But 30,000 people, 15,000 dogs. And they roam free. They're on the sidewalks. They let them in the shops. It's like the greatest dog city ever.
Very good. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for sharing.